Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Giulia. I am a body and confidence transformational healer, and I'm so grateful to have you here. Today I'm going to be sharing about my long overdue part 2 of my exercise addiction and burnout transformation story. So the first video I posted almost a year ago, I guess, maybe more. And I shared my struggles with being a fitness instructor, experiencing adrenal fatigue, burnout, what that did to my body. And today I want to share with you how I actually transformed through that and how you can too, because this is something that so many of us struggle with out there. And I want you to hear that it's so very real and so very possible, beyond possible for you to heal through it. So some of the highlights that I shared in this past video a year ago was that after, I struggled with back and forth with my body image and emotional pain behind my body image for most of my life. I grew up in a household where, my parents, there was a lot of influence on body image, a lot of self-criticism. They didn't criticize me, like just themselves. And so I grew up with that dialogue that physical appearance was so important. And I was also a perfectionist and an overachiever. So being in competitive sports was part of my life growing up. And I really pushed myself really hard from day one. That was how I found confidence, and it really came from this external realm of validation. So when I became a fitness instructor, I was in that job actually full-time after I quit my 8.5-year corporate job. So I became a fitness instructor full-time while I was starting my business. And so what happened was I started teaching fitness, full-time, and there was a ton of hours. And in the video, I shared a lot about that. And part of my struggle was this constant story that I'm not fit enough. I'm not as fit as compared to these other instructors. And I was already killing my body by teaching as many classes as I was teaching, and by putting my body through so much. And part of the struggle, I think, behind the realm of being a fitness instructor, and part of what I realized in my own life is there isn't a lot of education out there provided for how to take care of your body. Like, some of it's common sense, but when you're a fitness instructor, you're basically training at the level of an Olympic athlete in the sense of how many hours you're putting your body through. And there's very little knowledge provided, around how we're supposed to care for our bodies and what the appropriate amount of food is. And this is something I'll share more later on, but I was really uneducated. And of course, that's my responsibility. But I think as a larger conversation just out there in the world, it would be so wonderful if we could actually provide that information to the teachers, so that they actually had a little bit more understanding of how to take care of themselves while performing so much and exerting so much energy. So anyways, after I suffered an injury from overuse, and I tore my hip flexor from overusing it in teaching spin, my body basically shut down. And I shared this in the previous video, but it was probably without a doubt, the worst year of my life. So I couldn't exercise because obviously your hip flexor is the main tendon, ligament responsible for moving your leg. So anything that, like, walking was even painful for me, and it was a brutal rehab process. And the biggest part of all this was, like, yes, there was the physical aspect of healing, but emotionally, I was so distraught, and I was in so much pain emotionally, because I had to quit my job as a fitness instructor. I couldn't work out, and so there was my identity gone out the window. And my body was burnt out, so I had adrenal fatigue, and what comes along with that are really fucked up things that are super fun to deal with, such as a loss of appetite. I had insomnia for months. I had depression, all these things stacked up on top of the other. And so I remember literally screaming into my pillow at night, crying because I couldn't sleep, and there was nothing I tried that worked. You literally name something, I tried it, and nothing worked. And it was because there was so much emotional pain going on that I couldn't heal any of that. Like, my body was just so turned on in terms of the amount of frenetic energy and stress that it had. And that's something that I hope to educate all of you on, is that when we experience that level of stress, emotionally, mentally, physically, and otherwise, you actually just flick the on switch on for your stress system for so long that it's like if you were to be running away from a bear for, just like an endless chase where you can't stop running because you're fearing death. That's what your body internally is doing. So it doesn't let you sleep because it just is so like the off switch has been like blown up. Like it's not an option. So what happened was, I gained a lot of weight. And this happens with a lot of you out there that have shared, I don't know what to do. I can't lose weight. My body keeps gaining weight. That's because there is an emotional root cause, an emotional stress that is holding your body hostage. So I couldn't lose any weight. I gained over 15 pounds in just a mere couple months. And for someone who was a fitness instructor and literally had like a fucking six pack, not that that matters, but like I was at the top of my fitness game, to lose that all and to put on weight and be heavier than I was in my entire life, that was really hard for me to go through. And I'm sure for a lot of you out there, you feel the same thing. It's the whole struggle of who am I now that I don't look this way, and what will people say about me? And there's a lot of pain behind that, on top of not understanding why my body wasn't responding and I couldn't sleep. Like there's nothing more excruciating than not sleeping. So what happened was I tried to go through this process of working with a fitness professional who had a holistic nutrition approach. And I was put on this program of here's how many calories you should eat, not in a restrictive way, in like a very healthy way, to help your body regain, some strength and whatever. And at this point I had done a lot of physio and all these other things to heal my hip flexors so I could actually start exercising again. But because my body was so stressed, I couldn't do like high intensity HIIT training or anything like that, because if I did, my adrenals would be so fired up that even if I had insomnia, it would be like, instead of sleeping for maybe 3 hours or 2 hours, it would be like not even a wink, and I would just stay up wired as if I'd had like 10 cups of coffee. So basically what happened is I went on this program. It didn't help. It didn't do anything. I just felt even more stressed because I didn't want to have to like count calories. I was just too overwhelmed with everything going on. And so I abandoned that. And, I tried a bunch of different exercise to try and help my body lose weight, but literally nothing was working. And for 8 months of my life, I hid in my house. I didn't want to see anybody. I thought that I would never be a desirable partner to anybody. I literally felt so unworthy that it pains me to think that a person can feel that low about themselves. And I know so many of you out there feel that way. And I remember taking photos of myself in a bathing suit in the mirror and thinking, this is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. Like, why would anybody love me or want to be with me? I didn't want to hang out with friends. Like, it was really bad. And thankfully, someone on top of this, my eating, I had no appetite. Like, everything was just, didn't make any sense. I had zero appetite whatsoever. I wasn't hungry. And so I was like, for a person who's not even eating that much, like, how is my body still putting on weight? So there are a lot of red flags there. So what happened was I went to a lot of doctors, spent thousands of dollars on naturopaths, SIBO tests, you name it, nothing. Cool. Adrenal fatigue, what do I do with that? No real cure. Cool. Read every book under the sun, the adrenal thyroid revolution, everything. And I was like, okay, great. I've tried this stuff. Nothing's working. So what happened was I was introduced to EFT tapping, which is the main modality that I share on my channel, and I'm an advanced certified practitioner now. So I started doing some YouTube videos for EFT, and I thought, okay, like this is a bit weird, but I can get on board. And then I found some training on it where I went and did my training on the introductory level 1 and 2 of EFT. I worked with a practitioner, and I realized how much. That's when my body actually started to heal. I started processing and letting go of some of this emotional stress, and I started shifting out of that stress system. And what this technique does, by tapping, we actually communicate with that stress system in your brain and our amygdala, which is our emotional response center. And by tapping, we actually tell that amygdala in the brain, hey, you're okay, you're safe, you can be calm. And we stop secreting cortisol and adrenaline, which are our stress hormones. And those are healthy in small dosages, but when they're completely just being spewed out at all, firing at all cylinders, our body gains weight, our metabolism slows, our sleep becomes dysregulated, we become depressed, all these different symptoms that I was having because that stress system was on. So by actually working with a practitioner and tapping through all the upsetting things that were coming up for me, and those were all the upsetting thoughts and dialogues like, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I am so depressed, I can't exercise, I'm never gonna look like I used to anymore, all the neuroses that were coming up, like all those things that we just berate ourselves with, that you want to dump on a friend or a girlfriend, but like there's no real, when we do that, it doesn't feel like there's actually any resolve. We're just like clearing space, but we're not actually feeling like we're healing. I did all that with a healing practitioner while using this technique. And what I can say to you is that I lost the weight without even trying. And I didn't have to take any medication. I didn't have to do anything crazy. I literally just talked out and tapped out with a certified licensed practitioner what was upsetting me, what was occupying brain space, all the emotional upset that was going on, all the pain behind, my relationship with food, all the pain behind my relationship, my lack of intimate relationships because I felt so shitty about myself and my body. I tapped through the fact that I had to wear clothes that were two sizes bigger than I normally would. I had to tap through the pain of feeling like I was going to be stuck like this forever and that no matter what I did, my body wasn't going to lose weight. And through doing that, I lost the weight without changing my diet or exercise, without changing anything else about my life. And this is why I became a certified practitioner. After I felt the results and how powerful it was and how this made me feel so empowered in myself and in my life, I said, I have to make this a part of my practice, a part of my business. I am so called to give people this gift. And I went through the training program and became certified. And just this last year, I actually became certified as an advanced level practitioner because I truly feel so passionate about this modality and what it can do for you and the gifts that you can experience from it, and the shifts that it's created for my clients has been absolutely miraculous. And this is, again, the point is that any area in our life when we're struggling, it's due to emotional stress. It's never just the outside problem. It's what's happening inside. And our brains are a very complicated system. And what happens is that when we're dealing with therapy and talk therapy and coaching, there's so many, I am a certified coach and also an certified master energy healer. And there is a lot of healing in coaching and therapy, but the problem is that we have to work with our subconscious, those deep stories and beliefs that are sitting at a subconscious level, because those are what dictate 90% of our actions and behaviors. So if you believe that you're not good enough and you acquired that belief at some point in your life, just talking it through isn't going to change it. We actually have to reprogram it at a subconscious level. And we can only really do that with techniques like EMDR and EFT and different maybe hypnotherapy and different things like that. And so EFT was the gateway for me where I actually reprogrammed all those stories that were holding my life hostage. And through this technique, not only did I change my relationship to my body where I feel more confident than I ever have in my life, but I changed my relationship to my finances. I changed my, I completely changed my relationship to my finances. I went from making, $100,000 or more working for a company to starting my own company and feeling like I had so much shame around finances, didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And EFT transformed my life with my finances to the point where I'm so abundant and successful in my career as a result of the work that I've done to clear those fear patterns and emotional stories. With my body image, I used to have binge eating problems. EFT helped me clear those binge eating problems and to overcome all of that and to be able to now eat more food than I've ever eaten in my life. And my body is more healthy and fit than it has ever been. And that's been through EFT. So it's crazy. And with my romantic relationships, I went from a period of being a person who avoided romantic relationships for 2 years was like completely celibate because I just was so fearful. I didn't want anybody to be around me, didn't want anybody to touch my body, see me, any of that, to feeling completely confident in being in relationships and, you know, have been in several in just the last year. So it's truly groundbreaking and like a literal miracle what can happen when you work with a trusted practitioner who can help you overcome the stories that you feel so clouded and weighted down by and feel completely paralyzed in. And I'm telling you, there's so much hope for you. And this work has totally transformed my life and my clients' lives. And that's now why it is primarily what I do with my clients. And so, you know, I offer a 3-month program, the Brazen Body Breakthrough Program, where I help my clients achieve exactly this, is working through what are those blocks about your body image that you're getting stuck in, how do we heal your relationship to food. You know, if you're experiencing binge eating, you're feeling like you're really stressing about food, having a lot of anxiety, it won't matter what diet program you get put on. None of that shit is gonna do anything until you actually heal the stress around your eating patterns, the stress around your body, because stress, emotional pain overcomes all. And when we can clear that, anything is possible. And I promise you, you'll feel the most confidence you've ever had in your life. So I want you to know that I see you, I feel you, I know your pain. I know what that looks like out there to be stuck in complete despair and depression, and you're gonna get through it. I was literally suicidal, and I went from being in that very sad and dark place to feeling like I've never felt so much joy, gratitude for life, and confidence in my life. And imagine the difference of what you start to attract in your life, the people, the experiences, you know, the abundance financially. Imagine what shifts when your belief of self shifts, when you start seeing and feeling that confidence, not just in your body image, but in your entire life, because this is so much more than just your body. This is about you and how you see yourself and all of that light. When that shifts, literally, it's the miracle to making everything happen in your life. And I want to see that happen for you, and it is so possible. So, you know, please reach out to me. I would love to speak to you and support you. I would love to see that transformation for you. I put out so many free videos on YouTube, you know, so please check them out. And if you are in a place where you do really need that help, you are struggling, you are at a point where you want to break through these patterns, these unhealthy patterns with exercise, with food, with, you know, the stories you tell yourself about your body, you're not losing weight, you know, you're struggling with romantic relationships, you're struggling with your friendships, whatever it is that's holding your confidence hostage, let's work through that, let's break through it, and let's get you through to the other side, because that is what you deserve. I don't want to see you suffering a single more second. I want to see you thriving, and I know exactly what that feels like, and I know what it feels like to be on the other side, and I want to see you over here. So let's make that happen. And you can always send me a message on Instagram. I would love to hear from you, and I'm so grateful that you spent the time here today. Just know you're going to get through this. And even just starting with a simple tapping video, choose one of the videos that I have over there and just try it and start working with that every day and see how you feel. This work is so insanely powerful, and I can't wait for you to be a part of it. You know where to contact me below. All that information is below. If you are ready for taking this to the next level, you can book a complimentary call with me. I would love to chat with you, and we will really see how we can make this magic happen for you. And I'm always here to just chat or say hi as well, so say hi to me on Instagram. Love you so much. You're a warrior. Keep fighting and shining like the bright light that you are. Bye.